Let me start at the beginning. This president had no hostility towards Russia. I remember him giving an interview to you, Andre, in the White House. We came in and had to your news organization. We got a lot done with Dmitry Medvedev. We got the New START treaty done. We supported Russia's entry in the WTO, even though there wasn't really any political benefit in that for us. We thought that was fair. The repeal of Jackson-Vanik. We couldn't have gotten an Iran deal without Russia, and I've repeatedly credited Russia with that. What is so frustrating about this whole conversation is we clearly had a preference to work with Russia. If anything, that is something our critics have seized on. And frankly, I still think that was the right thing to do, because when you have an opportunity of someone who's willing to work with you, you take it. And that's what we had in the first term with President Medvedev. And we got a lot done that I think benefited the United States and Russia. We did not go in search of a conflict in Ukraine. We actually we supported the agreement that was brokered in which Yanukovych would have stayed. He's the one who decided to leave. And, we have a responsibility as a stakeholder in the international community that after that happens, when there's an effort to annex the territory of a sovereign country, to respond and for there to be consequences. Absent that, the whole order collapses, and we're just living in the law of the jungle. And that ultimately is bad, I think, for everybody, including Russia. In terms of our surveillance and intelligence efforts, look, we get it. Countries spy on each other. A bunch of countries do that. There's a difference, though, between regular efforts to understand what's happening in another country and have that inform your policies, and then disseminating information to interfere in the politics of other countries. And frankly, that you're asking us to suspend disbelief to suggest that Tori and Ulan's phone conversation gets intercepted and released, and the fake news is created all across European countries. That you know how many. There have been plenty of reports about that are intended to promote, seed doubt and division inside of Europe, to elevate the concerns about refugees, fake stories about what refugees are doing in Europe, crimes that they're committing. There is direct funding and support for political parties of a particular bent in European countries. This is all plain for people to see, and I think that the problem here is we respect that Russia will have its own interests. The basic problem is we're not operating even from a position of trying to establish any facts for how we address issues. A civilian airliner is shot down over Ukraine, and on the one hand, we have professionals painstakingly recreating the entire airplane and doing a lengthy investigation to arrive at a fact-based conclusion, as against just all types of different theories and information being put out by Russia about what happened. And that's what plays out time and again. And they rebuilt the entire plane that was blown out of the sky, Andre. I mean, we did release that. We've released satellite imagery of all kinds of things in Ukraine. We've released satellite imagery of trucks with weapons crossing the border. I mean, I don't, like, at a certain point.
Just for curiosity, just one last thing. When President Putin refused to take the bait and expel American diplomats, what was the reaction from President Obama? Just I'm personally curious.
Could you repeat that question? You didn't have the mic.
I'll repeat it because I have to move on. I'm going to take one last question after this, just so I end on a happier note. He didn't have a reaction on it. We took an action because it was in our national interest to do so. President Obama is not somebody who personalizes disputes with foreign countries. I mean, everything that all of you have seen in how he interacts with countries, he represents the United States of America. He represents a set of interests and values. He doesn't approach these things as duels and frankly, he's always believed that the measure of his efforts as president is how strong is America and how are we positioned. And look, we feel very good about the work that we've done to strengthen the American economy, the American social safety net, social inclusion in America, to promote a broader set of relations in the world. Frankly, that is the measure by which we look at how strong we are. Frankly, my concern is that is also that I don't see this benefiting the Russian people. I know that they're not interested, in my view, in Moscow on this, but we could have a situation where there's much greater economic growth and much less tension, and we're cooperating as we have historically on areas like arms control and even European security. And I just think that even as someone who's not going to be in this job in 3 days, that is so clearly better for everybody, including Russia. I got to move on just because look, we want Trump to succeed as president of the United States, but we also believe that the liberal international order that every president of every party since World War II has invested in is got to be part of the foundation of our approach to the world. I'll take one last question because I think I got to run.